Oh, 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 oh. Edges lay, hoop swing, lip gloss and a laugh. I walk in like Sunday, but I've been through some wrath. They see soft, see sweet, figure I'm easy to bend. They don't see me in the mirror trying to hold my own head. Don't let my smile fool you. I've been breaking in the
White man does the popular dance, the whoa, while reporting the weather. Comment section reads, Tom definitely invited to the cookout. Another video shows a white man dancing on stage and the caption reads, it's obvious why Mark is invited to the cookout, where we slide like black lightning across the backyard and turn it into a dance floor. The cookout be sacred, but ain't that just like us? Inviting everyone into our holy place is crazy. How all you gotta do is know how to Dougie to dodge accountability, wash white privilege out with a whip and a nay-nay, and they call it muscle memory. Cause they've been whipping nay-nay for centuries. Crazy how when we dance, we get called coons. But Brad dances and gets an honorary plate full of ribs. We keep feeding them like they didn't force chitlins down our throats. Keep dancing. They shuck and jive their way to acceptance, and it's appalling how easily we forget just because Becky can footwork and Allie makes foo-foo. Invitations to the cookout flying off the shelf in the comment section. Sis, do you remember when we invited one of them to our Bible study? And 9 of us were told well done that night. So excuse my caution for Caucasians casually crip walking for convenience, lying in line dancing, looking like a fool to cook out. Nigga, they used to cook us out over open fires.
I think they ought to stay out of Vider.
And why is that?
Because we're doing fine without them. We don't need them now. And if they move to Vider, there's just going to be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's a white town. It's a white race. That's the way we want to keep it.
Stand up, be counted, man. As a white man.
Most of the crowd cheered on the Klan speakers. They are horrified that a federal court will integrate a housing project in nearby Vider. Vider is an all-white town, and blacks are not welcome there.
Uplift Vider! Uplift freedom!
Folks sat outside to look and listen. The little ones waved innocently.
I think it's foolish.
Why is that?
Well, these people don't really have any right, the way I feel about, coming down to Vider and claiming all this victory for Vider and everything. We're the ones that have to live with it.
Uplift America!
The nationalist movement opposes civil rights and fair housing. They came to Vider applauding the federal government's failed attempts in desegregating the town's all-white housing project. 4 blacks tried moving in earlier this year, but later moved out, complaining of harassment.
We petition for the repeal of all laws which give favors to the few, preferences for the minorities, and privileges for the pampered.
Klansmen said they were here to swell pride, not spread hate. But some in the crowd weren't as convinced. No one wore a sheet, but some wore fatigues and waved rebel flags. Dixie blared and Klansmen preached.
I spent 10 years in the United States Army defending what I thought America was all about. I got out about a year ago. I come out here and I look and I see this guy standing up here wearing the same uniform that I put on every day for 10 years. It makes me sick.
100 law enforcement officials standing watch, there was little trouble. Just 2 minor arrests were made. And in the midst of all the shouting, the Grand Dragon calmly passed out balloons to a select crowd.
These are for white kids, white people only. I bought them and I'll choose who I wish to give them to.
Vider is viewed around the country as a racially tense East Texas town. Some natives disagree.
We don't have racists in this town. We have Americans, God-fearing, hard-working Americans. If y'all want to see the true story of Vider, Texas, why don't y'all go down there where the good Christians are praying?
We pray, give us the weapons, fight the good fight.
This prayer rally had just as many folks as the march did. They prayed for unity, and as these churchgoers put it, the defeat of evil.
The blood that gives me street voice.
White people think that we're just supposed to sit by and allow them to brutalize us.
Oh, no.
So us standing up for ourselves, us acting in self-defense, that's a crime to them. Now, let me make a parallel, right? Because Twitter is full of bots. They're trying to paint this young man as a savage, but the real way we respond is by supporting, and the way we support is make sure that he has the best lawyer in the country.
Facts.
Right? Darren Wilson, officer who killed Mike Brown. No problem when everybody donated to his GoFundMe.
Right.
George Zimmerman had a GoFundMe. Kyle Rittenhouse had a GoFundMe. No issues there. Now that black people are coming out and putting their money up in support Same thing y'all do. When it's on tape that you dead ass wrong and y'all still support your own. Now they trying to say it's fraud. They all this like white people, fucking white lawyers trying to get the fundraiser taken down and all this type of shit. But the thing is this: they don't like that we are. See, this is what they used to niggas doing. Yeah, is finding fault with him. They used to us siding with them and finding fault. Oh, no matter what was happening, this is what they want niggas to say. No matter what was happening, he shouldn't have got stabbed. Nobody should have been harmed. Oh, but it's okay to bully us. Yeah. And you thought you and your brother, and then now you done died in your brother's arm. Shit happens. Huh? I'm not in a position to have any empathy for this anymore. I'm tired of trying to look at both sides of situations. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm tired of us trying to find fault within ourselves when all we should be doing is defending ourselves. Facts. If you're defending yourself, how can you be in the wrong? You can't.
I don't think white people should be stressed out. The rules is meant for you to win. What are you stressed about? Life should be good. Life should be amazing if the rules was bent and twisted for you.
Twenty minutes to the top of the hour now. A Texas courtroom erupting with emotion after a guilty verdict in the deadly stabbing of a high school student. News Nation's Xavier Walton is live in McKinney, Texas, with more on the sentence and the strong reaction from both sides of this Karmelo Anthony case. Xavier, good morning to you.
Marky, good morning. You know what? Tension boiling over after Karmelo Anthony found guilty of murder. And let me tell you, there was just so much raw emotion outside of the county courthouse. That emotion shifting just slowly once, the crowd of people heard Karmelo Anthony's sentence, how long he's going to be spending behind bars. Anthony sentenced to 35 years in prison for the fatal stabbing of Austin Met, 20 years, but jurors actually rejected the sudden passion claim. That decision from the jury had to be unanimous. Anthony will be eligible for parole in 17 and a half years. Meantime, Metcalf family supporters say, this was justice being served, but not a win. Some told me before the trial even started, this was a lose-lose situation. Austin Metcalf's mom saying during impact statements, in part, now my conversations are one-sided, sitting at his grave because I will never hear his voice again. Instead of walking beside me, he is walking above me. He was murdered. He was taken from us just as he was really starting to live. You may have been given sentence of 35 years. You should feel lucky. I've been sentenced to a lifetime without my son. Meantime, Anthony supporters say this clearly was not a fair trial. They pointed to the jury, which didn't have a single black person on it. Jury deliberations lasting less than 3 hours.
You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset. I respected this process, but we're going to fight like hell to make sure that Talon County know that Karmelo Anthony is not going to go away.
So Karmelo Anthony's mother taking to the stand before sentencing, saying her son was remorseful. The Anthony family likely going to appeal, and we'll be, of course, watching if and when that process takes place, Marky.
Yeah, both of these families and sets of parents trying to figure out how to move forward after this verdict. Xavier Walton, thank you so much, live in McKinney, Texas for us.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News
Hey, what's going on, folks? Yet another episode of the Can We Be Frank show. We only got one viewer right now. So if y'all could share this out, right? Um, as with all the other shows, the shows is just as important. And between the meantime and between time of Alexandria business, I have been indulging and
Excuse me, sir. Can you get back up to the mic like you were just a few minutes ago?
yeah. So um yeah, so aside from all the stuff that uh I do in Alexandria, all the TV show stuff, et cetera, right? I do have another thing that I've been doing probably since it started. So April 2nd of last year, an incident happened where where uh a young man was forced to defend himself. Uh Probably April 3rd, I started following the case. Um by March, April, May, June. By June, everybody around me knew that I was super involved in this case. I have a TikTok family that we incessantly did live streams about this case. There's really not a lot other than like some of the more recent stuff that happened during the trial, the new information, if you will. Is the things that I just became privy of. But as far as the rest of this issue goes with Carmelo Anthony, I've been on top of. Uh, so to have this much notoriety at this point, and to see it does my heart some good to see people wanting to help, wanting to bring awareness to this. Uh, now that the trial is over, um, there's going to be quite a few next steps. Uh, but tonight, I kind of wanted to walk out through some of the more nuanced parts of all this, and not gonna forget about Alexandria. Not gonna forget about Alexandria. Matter of fact, I might even open with Alexandria. Let's see. Your boys over there at Urbancast were interviewing Mark Woods earlier. I don't know if they was talking about locking up the kids again or not, but it seems like a conversation they would have. Let's see. I think this is from today. So of course we're
Well, we
gonna
only
do.
got one viewer. What happened? Everybody don't. What, they think we didn't come on tonight or something?
I mean, it happens. You're doing this for the records. Um, so this was on YSKT earlier today, and this was according to Odyssey's recent coverage referencing U.S. News and World Report ranking Alexandria, Louisiana, secured the sixth spot on the list of the nation's most dangerous major cities. The study is based on an FBI data compared murder and property crime rates per 100,000 residents across 25 cities, placing Alexandria just behind Detroit and just ahead of Cleveland. Tommy Davenport, a local attorney who moved his business into Pineville, shared his insight with ABC 31. The big problem we definitely have is the Alexandria Police Department has over 70 vacancies. Okay, so this has been ongoing. When the current administration entered office, it had a 100-day plan. Okay, that was in 2022. We're now in 2025. We still have vacancies. We don't have enough police officers. Uh, I normally don't take the word of Tommy Davenport. It's not nothing personal. It's just me, right? Uh, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand this whole 100-day plan he had. Cause nothing happened in 100 days. Like we got the restore plan, but I guess that was the only part of his 100-day plan that we was concerned about. As far as anything else, he had absolutely zero. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, folks. I
Now we
don't
got
know,
two
folks.
viewers.
Go ahead.
I'm just messing. I said now we got two viewers.
Now you got what? I can't hear you.
I said now we got two viewers.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be all right. They'll catch it. They didn't even. If I don't come on at 8:30, they stop
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
So coming on at 9 is just gonna take a little bit of adjustment.
So what is he interviewing Mark Woods for? I wanted to ask.
You really want to know? We can find out.
Okay. Anyway.
Somebody also brought up the fact that the way they doing Miss Price is
Miss
is a
Price.
little weird because
So what's
the
going on
other
at Five
guy
and
that
Below?
the other guy that got caught with the peeping tom charge, he got a professional side shot as his profile picture. I mean, as his mugshot.
Well, it's all about humiliating black people, Tavares. You should know that by now. It ain't nothing different. It's all about humiliating black people. Any way they can figure out a way to humiliate us, they do it. I don't know what's surprising about that.
I don't even want to play his voice. I don't. I read the captions.
And several programs serving community.
So Parish Sheriff says, hold on, let me see if I can read it. Renewal will continue. Oh, this is about that millage renewal.
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All of a sudden I'm not interested. Yeah. It's about that millage renewal.
Okay.
Um so the father in this situation, Jeff Metcalf, the white boy's father, and I'm gonna bring this in layman's terms because all the things, all the tiptoeing that we had to do on TikTok, not being able to say this or say that, but I don't have that problem on Facebook. So, uh, the father of the white boy that got himself killed.
You keep going in and out.
I said the father of the white boy that got his.
Why are you worried about
Since
a
you're
tent
so
of all
rational
things?
and smart, if someone touches your arm, does that justify you
If
stabbing them in the
in a
heart with a
hostile
knife?
situation where someone walks up to me with
Answer
four
the
people,
question, yes or no. Does it
I'm answering your
justify it?
question. That's not the situation. I ain't just
Yes, it is.
no, it's not. You walked
Yeah,
up the whole
dude,
totality of the
he
situation matters.
touched him.
Your four
Does
boys
that
walked up on him
justify?
and assaulted
Okay,
him.
man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespectful as
Dude, why
hell.
don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment today?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me. You heard that for yourself. Feel just me.
That really happened. I know
So
it
that was
happened.
the dad?
Huh?
That was the dad?
That was the dad. That was
Yeah.
months ago. That was like
Uh-huh.
July of last year. Um, I know because I was literally I was physically there in the chat, and I was in the voice queue because I had a few questions myself. So that night, the father went on a 17-hour TikTok tour from panel to panel, and just went from panel to panel trying to plead his son's case. And So he left from over there after because she abruptly ended that live. She ended that live right after that happened. And he ended up on another panel. And I guess now is a good time as any to talk about why I can't stand coons, right? Because you literally have the worst colored people emerging trying to curry favor with these white folks behind this case. And when I say these are the worst of the worst of the worst of black people, colored people, these are the colored people. These are the people that are actually the hard R's. Everybody else is probably is like a or a H, but no, these are the hard R's that we talk about. And this is why we don't like the word, because we don't want to be associated with these hard R's, right? Let me see if I can pull one up. So all of a sudden, whereas white folks did not like black content creators, when those black content creators started to talk bad about Carmelo, suddenly these white folks are in love with these certain black folks, right? Um, like this nigga right here. I'm sorry, it slipped out. Y'all share this out. I know people wasn't expecting us to come on. I waited till 9 o'clock. I probably should have.
Standing up for what's right. He murdered that boy. Okay, you only here because you a racist. I'm a racist. You a racist. I'm not racist. So why are you here standing up for a murderer? Why are you here standing up for a murderer? Because you have the person he killed is white. That's why. He's 18, boy. He can serve in the army.
And they're both children.
And they're both children. One's a murderer.
And they're both
One's a murderer.
Bitch, you can get in my face. I ain't scared, bitch. You can get in my face.
Hold on, man.
I ain't scared. Yeah, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. I ain't scared. You can go get a bitch. You can go call one of your sisters out here.
You don't gotta talk to me.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Talk to me. I ain't your brother.
You did all that talking on the phone. What the fuck?
Make a move, bro.
Now you hush move.
I just moved. Make a move. I just moved.
He ain't ready.
Y'all, if I drop him.
Hey, look, check this out. They want to see. They want to see us out here. They want to see us. They ain't gonna let you drop. They ain't gonna let you drop.
Say, come on. Listen, y'all right. Because you need a gun to kill a black man, right? That's where you going on. Yeah. I ain't moving. Never want I'm out here standing up for.
As you can see, thank you, Louis Natasha. So let me skip to the next part. Come on, man. I know I got the next clip. So the next clip is him in jail. Yeah, he went to jail for that.
We already got the money.
We also have
Tell him who that guy is.
We already got the
I
money.
gotta tell y'all who this guy is. So you may remember that coon, that hard R. You may remember him from let's see. That guy is this guy.
Was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
You know who helped her? White people.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
People who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
it's a lie. White supremacy is a lie. Conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got, not asking for handouts from people who never had slaves. Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves. And let's talk about the fact there were also Black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a white person and my family fall on the side of the Union, why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery, and they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too, because they believed that there'll be a future where there would be a Black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were Black. There was people in the North who helped with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity. And we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a Black president, just in case you didn't know. We had a Black president and we had a Black vice president. I mean, I think she was Black. They said she was Black. I don't know. So we had a Black president, and you know who voted for that Black man? White people, because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, Black people, and making us victims and not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality, because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and the
Do not bring up Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby, please. Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
You know who helped her? White people.
No, you know who helped her?
God and Harriet.
That was that hard R. Right. And there's a number of other hard R's that are also closely associated with this, they're outliers. So that guy went to jail yesterday for what I showed y'all. Hold on, let me run that back real quick.
I'm out here standing up for what's right. He murdered that boy. You only here because you a racist.
I'm a racist.
You a racist.
I'm not racist.
So why are you here standing up for a murderer? Why are you here standing up for a murderer? Because you have the person he killed is white. That's why. He's 18, boy. He can serve in the army.
Children.
And they're both children.
One's a murderer.
And they're both
One's a murderer.
I'm standing up for I ain't scared, bitch. You can get in my face. I ain't scared. Yeah, I'm just saying though. I ain't scared. You can go get a bitch.
Talk to me.
You can go call one of your sisters out here.
You don't gotta
talk to me.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Talk to me. I ain't your brother.
You did all that talking on the phone.
You make a move, bro.
Now you hush move.
I just moved.
Make a move.
I just moved.
He ain't ready.
Y'all, if I drop him.
Hey, look, check this out. They want to see us out here. They want to see us. They ain't gonna let you drop.
Hey, I do have this message though. What up, brother Greg? I do have this message though. If you see one of these hard R's about to get knocked out, a mollywop in real life, please don't try to stop it. Don't jump in the way of what God has planned for that person. Let them get their blessing. Let them get it.
Man, they want to say, I ain't gonna let you down. No, listen, hold on. Say, come on. Listen, y'all right.
Because you need a gun to kill a black man, right? That's where you going on. Yeah. You can
I ain't moving. Never want to
Now, if that man really wanted to do something to that man, I mean, it would have been over. That's how I know what they say about black folks and how we act. It isn't true. At least not for all of us. I definitely would have wound that up and it would have been a nice little uppercut straight to the moon, Alice. Because you know, we're gonna have to start doing something about our sellouts. We're gonna have to start doing something about those of us that look like us that be siding with the oppressor consistently, or at all for that matter. We absolutely we have a coon infestation in the black community. Um, and I know it's gonna sound like I'm jumping around, but a lot of the media I consume, a lot of the information that I go and get, a lot of that all it has a narrative in it. And I guess being on this show is allowing me to share with y'all how I view the world and how my view aligns with what's real and how what's real aligns with how that reality affects us. And so when in cases where it seems like I'm jumping around, I promise you I'm not. But I do want you to know, since we're still local, hold on. I do want you to know, right, that stop. That for the first time that I could ever remember, for the first time that I could recall, hold on, let me scroll up here. Is it this one? Oh, okay, it must be this one. Oh, okay, I guess it ain't this one. Hold on, I gotta find it real quick. Okay, there we go. You guys ever seen Alexandria's downtown do anything for Juneteenth? Y'all ever seen them do anything for Juneteenth? Have y'all ever seen them do anything for Juneteenth? I have
Not that I
never.
know of. I don't remember. I'm not gonna say never, but I don't remember that. Is that an Isley brother's son, nephew, or something? Mav
It's
Isley?
somebody. Is somebody that is going to be in downtown Alexandria,
So
right?
why are you jumping around? Why are we talking about Alexander?
Well, because I was talking about the people that sell us out, right? And a lot of the times, the people that sell us out are the ones that we don't know we being sold, right? So a lot of people are selling us out, and that goes back to what I was saying about we have a coon infestation in our community, and we absolutely have to do something about it. If we don't, then It's only inevitable. He said it's always been very little participation. I know I'm not tripping. But all of a sudden during an election year, the city of Alexandria, hey, anybody associated with that, y'all already know. You already know. A lot of people trying to pad their pockets, and I don't give a damn about that. You've been doing sellout pockets for years. I'm not surprised by that. But trying to get other black folks involved because you're black, even though you don't owe any allegiance, and then like you're just trying to, it's just bad. It's all the way bad. And sometimes we get so caught up, like you always say, in this whole relative thing where you don't know how close you are to certain people that are sellouts until you see them selling out. And the city, let me tell you something. That lady that runs that Juneteenth organization would come down every single year and beg the city for funds to do something for Juneteenth. And every single year, the city would say no. And you can't say it was the administration because she's done it under both administrations.
No, they give her money. They give it to her.
What, 10,000?
I don't know
30,
what the amount is. They do give her money. I just hate the idea that she's got to go and perform to beg for it. I think it should be an automatic. And I also think that Juneteenth should have their own campaign every year.
I remember, I know it's sitting city councilmen that got up there and said, I don't know why we should be spending money on Juneteenth. So
they did that too. I remember that.
I'm all for separation. Let me say that first. Let me predicate what I'm saying. If they want to go have a ball over there, let them go. Right? Because water and oil don't mix. And I don't want a whole bunch of fake ass black people in the mix of progress. Because that's how you get Reddixes. That's how you get Roosevelts. Right? They jump in the way of progress. If progress was a freight train, they're the ones that voluntarily tied themselves to the track to get in the way. Right? I don't care about what they're doing. I just don't want them to interfere with what the real black folks got going on. And if you are trying to again pad your pockets with tax dollars, simply because it's just you got to make a way for your family. That's what Jack said when he sold us out too. So I know a lot of y'all don't have a problem with Jack. I know a lot of y'all don't have an issue with Urban Cast. I know a lot of y'all don't have a problem with sellouts. And that's why I speak directly to y'all when I can. Yeah. You're worse than the white folks, to be honest with you. But I'll leave that there.
So many are wondering with the Karmelo Anthony trial, why didn't the state call Austin Metcalf's twin Hunter? And why didn't they call the father? The answer may surprise you. Prior to the trial, you may have heard that there were rumors that the twin boys were bullies. By not calling Hunter Metcalf to the stand, then you're unable to solicit evidence about how much of a bully these two boys really were. See, the boys were even suspended from school the week that Austin attacked Karmelo Anthony. Their own coach testified that he was surprised to see the boys at the game. He was allegedly surprised because they had been suspended from school that week. And when you're suspended from school, you're not supposed to be able to play in a sports game because the school doesn't want to reward bad behavior. By calling the dad to the stand or calling the surviving brother on cross-examination, they could be asked questions about the brother's history of fighting at school, carrying knives, carrying weapons, and getting in trouble. By not calling either of them, it prevented the jury from hearing any of that evidence. In addition, the defense fought and submitted motions to the court because they wanted to submit information to the jury to help establish why Karmelo's fear of Austin was reasonable by including some examples of Austin's history of violent behavior, and the judge blocked that too. So mark my words, when this is over, we will have access to some of those motions and the evidence that was precluded from the jury. But for those who were saying something just isn't adding up here, we're not getting all the evidence, you're darn right. What do you think? Do you think the jury should have been able to hear about the history that both Austin and Hunter Metcalf, both twin brothers, had as far as their violent behavior at schools or at school-related functions? I'm Legal Bestie. Let me know in the comments below and head to my YouTube channel, Girl Is That Legal, for a full video breakdown.
Shout out to Girl Is That Legal. But again, let me show y'all who they were going to talk about putting on the stand.
Why are you worried about?
Since you're so rational and smart, if someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question, yes or no. Does it?
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me. You heard that for yourself.
You think they were going to put him on the stand? You really think they were going to put that? You think they were going to put him on the stand?
And like I said before, these children were bullies. That didn't just happen out of the blue. And if you see the wife, the mother, I'm not talking about nobody's wife, and I'm not talking about nobody's mother. Yeah,
that's
he
not the
bullied
wife.
her.
That's not the wife. That's the ex-wife. She makes that very plain. That's why she showed up.
Doesn't want to be connected
Yeah, she
to
showed
him.
up to the
Well,
she showed up to the trial with her new boyfriend, and he showed up with his old girlfriend.
he was very abusive from what was said to her. The father is the issue. I was listening earlier to what's the name, and they said it's the mother. No, it was the father. The mother was probably scared of both of those boys. I wouldn't be surprised if the mother was afraid of the boys because they turned out just like their dad, abusive. Those boys ran that house.
What's happening right now, probably why some of the numbers are low, is because he's live right now. He's been live for a couple of hours. He's doing a live interview. So
okay. So yeah,
he's soaking up most of the bandwidth on this story right now. And we probably have to come back and revisit it. But I did want to do this much for the folks that listen to us and don't know.
Why don't you? Can you play the video of him being interviewed after it happened?
No.
Do you have that?
No, I don't. It's happening right now.
No. I'm talking about the interview of Austin, not Austin. The other
Oh yeah, we could. You know what? That is.
I'm
so glad. I'm so glad you said that, because
that's the one I was talking about.
That's the rest of the show right there. So, me and my little TikTok friends, what we're doing right now is we're going back in time to when the case first got started. And we're looking at things that we might have missed. There's appealing process. That's a fact, right? So it's an appealing process. And so, oh shit. So, what we're doing is we're going back and we're pulling out all the appealable, all the suspicious, all the everything, the inconsistencies of this whole entire dialogue and this whole entire situation. So that guy is also this guy. And this is the interview with his dad. This is the interview that day, I want to say. I want to say this happened. This was the same day.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so this is the father. So say that this guy and that guy, is that the father?
Well, once you start watching the video, it'll establish itself. So.
All right, just say it's the dad. Damn it.
Was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family.
Okay, so Mr. Metcalf, it's JFF and then METCALF. You are Austin's father.
Yes, sir.
Easy question to start with. It's probably a tough one to answer, but how have the last ...24 hours been for you and for your family, for Hunter?
That's again, I'm just happy to stay strong so we can handle arrangements, people flying in, people coming from all over. So I haven't had a chance to really grieve yet. I know at some point when this is all over and we're able to put him in the ground, then I'll probably break down and grieve that way. But right now I'm really numb and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function, and I need to be there for my son and my example for my son.
Austin obviously is the son, and also Hunter, who you're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through who Austin was to you. I know that you said so much about him, I think, in the last 24 hours here. Everyone else has said a lot about him too, about how great of a kid he was. In your eyes, though, just as a father, who was he to you?
My boys are the biggest blessing in my life. God provided them to me. God's going to get me through this. I had a dream last night.
Yeah. Let me remind you who this guy is.
Why are you worried about
Since you're so rational and smart, if someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question, yes or no. Does it?
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself, just me.
Now, this is also revealing of the fake Christianity that white folks try to shroud themselves in. And I'm not going to get into the local stories about these fake ass group gatherings of fake ass Christians that are actually racist. He's just one of them, right? So I again, I want you to pay attention to the language.
And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. I had a dream last night. And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. Them to me.
In your eyes, though, just as a father, who was he to you?
My boys are the biggest blessing in my life. God provided them to me. God's going to get me through this.
Now, this interview was well before the clip I just played. Well before it. I'm trying to highlight the fact that not only do they and when I say they, I talk about the fake white Christian nationalist archetype of white people. They fake this altruism that is, it's just repugnant. It they act like they care. Jock's been doing it a lot more lately, talking about the Bible and God, because they know that that's a lot of our, not just black folks, but America's weak point is if you want to do something dirty, say God told you to do it. And Jock is doing that a lot more now. Quoting Bible verses and all this other shit. Like, man, it's just abhorrent. It's people really struggling with their religion and people really struggling with their personal life and their spiritual life. And these folks don't have a problem at all exploiting that. Don't have one issue at all exploiting you, exploiting your personal relationship with, and I always tell them, don't pray for me, because we definitely don't pray to the same God.
I had a dream last night, and Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace.
You see what he's doing? He's signaling, folks. And listen, if I'm moving too fast, if I'm saying too much, if I'm over explaining, you have to remember I've watched all this shit about 1,000 times, and I've studied damn near every frame, right? So right here, something catches his attention. He tried to look off and play it off, but he always, they look back.
It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but
yeah. Let's hear about this hurt.
It gives me great peace. So one of the things my son, Hunter.
Oh, so that's where Hunter was. So he and Hunter had been at his house doing interviews that day with the other newspapers, or with a newspaper. And I guess this was Hunter leaving. And for the first time, and as many times as I say I don't watch this, for the first time, I think I heard somebody laugh in the background.
My son, Hunter. His ability, it gives me great peace. So one of the things, but it gives me great peace.
There it goes.
Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace.
Was that a sheep?
It sounded like that, but that sounded like some kids or something, and that's why he was looking over there, maybe.
No, it was some kids he has control over, because he snapped at him and told him, you see his arm moving? He's telling them to stop, whatever it is they're doing.
Me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah. See, and look, every time I watch these videos, I always find something new. Mind you, this was in the first 24 hours of the incident. They're on a unprecedented press run. They're covering all the news bases. Yeah.
So one of the things my son, Hunter, his ability to stay strong is a character to his brother. His brother, they had each other's back. They were tight. I've never seen a bond like that. Being identical twins, technically Austin was his big brother. Those boys were my everything. I had cancer almost 10 years ago. I wasn't supposed to live, but that was my why, to fight. And without those boys, I probably would have succumbed and gave in. But they were in my heart, and I fought hard because I wanted to be their father. I wanted to be there for them throughout the years they grow up, and so I can share my wisdom and share my mistakes so they won't do the same. Austin was an outstanding athlete, person, friend, loyal, loving. He would light up the room. He was such a leader naturally. On that team, he would fire those guys up. He would step on that field and he would become a totally different person.
Like a bully? You know, a part of this appeals process is pointing out things that were right in front of us the whole time that maybe the defense didn't even bring up. Because even after the defense rested, I still, me and my friend group, we were discussing how, man, probably about 35% of everything that we had said in defense of Karmelo leading up to the trial, about 35% of what we were speculating on actually came out. So there is a ton of information that is still, there's a lot left to be said, right? But indicating that your son, when it came to being competitive in athletics, he would turn into a whole different person. He would turn brutal, even, he'd turn to a bully. He'd be the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. He was him when it came to competing, right? So he did have a proclivity for violence and a propensity for escalating situations.
His level of play was above most everyone else. He led the team. He was voted team MVP by his coaches and teammates. He's had multiple coaches, colleges contacting. He is one of the most outstanding. Him and his brother both have been athletes all their lives, from soccer to baseball to jiu-jitsu to football. They did it all, and they excelled every time. And I told them, you guys are so lucky, because not everyone has your talent, but you have to make sure you take that talent and harness it in the right way. And Austin was able to harness many things in his life. Loyalty to his brother, his love for all his friends and family. He was such an outstanding young man. I was so proud. I bragged on my children all the time. Anyone who knows me knows how much my kids meant to me. They were my entire world. My world's a little shattered, but I still have Hunter.
I still got one. He said, but I still have Hunter. And on its face, you want to feel sympathy for this asshole, right? But you gotta remember, once you take off the Christianity mask, and once you give them space to be themselves.
Why are you worried about you're so rational and smart? If someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart? In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me, answer the question, yes or no. Does it? I'm asking you a question. That's not the situation. Yes, it is. No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation. He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person. Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect. Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Yeah, you heard that for yourself.
Same guy. This facade, this skin, these demons walk in. It's all a facade. It's all a facade. It's all a facade, and it's a racist. It is what it is, folks.
And I always have Austin.
I know that the last day has just been gut-wrenching for you and your family. You've spoken, obviously, to a couple of other outlets. I know Hunter's leaving. Do you need to say goodbye? Or?
No, I told him we're good.
Okay.
Damn. He didn't even want to say. He said, I want this spotlight so much, I'm not even gonna go comfort my grieving son.
Let me tell you something, what that was. Hunter was laughing. Him and somebody else was laughing. And his father didn't like the idea that they were laughing. Okay. And that's why he said what he said.
Look at that look.
He was hot.
He hates Hunter.
But I said that
he hated
when we
Hunter.
watched the other one. The mother too. The mother hates that it was him, that it was Austin. I'm telling you. Because he's the problem child. Hunter is the problem child. Because he admitted that himself. Didn't he say that? Didn't he say his brother always came to his rescue?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
Because he was always doing something he wasn't supposed to because that boy was slow. It was something wrong with that boy.
We haven't really had a chance to talk to you about this. You had mentioned a few times that you had forgiven the suspect for what
correct.
He did.
I do.
But we just informed you about these documents. And
that doesn't change anything. Okay. This has to do with me and God. God teaches us in the Bible. He talks about forgiveness. He also talks about revenge. Not for me to seek. God will take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
Why are you worried about
Since you're so rational and smart, if someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question, yes or no. Does it
I'm
justify
answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
He just learned how to cuss that morning. He wanted to fit as many curse words in that insult as he possibly could, and he didn't even care which ones he used.
Now, do you have the video of the brother? Do you have the video of Hunter and his mom doing the interview?
Yeah, I have all the videos.
Okay, because you're moving kind of slow.
So the mask is off. Anything past July of last year or June of last year, or hell, I'll even go anything past May of last year. It's all been a facade. It's all been, any news coverage of this story has been completely one-sided. Completely one-sided.
Karma, I believe in it. It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know, they weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
But he wasn't there and he didn't see it.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
You know, as a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken. We've never had contact with this individual ever. So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are speaking at this moment.
Is that shocking to hear or read, or at least hear from me, say that that's what he told?
You see how how fake they are? He was just on the verge of tears 3 seconds ago, and now he's chuckling at the thought of his sons being bullies. and someone having to defend themselves, and how ridiculous it is that anyone would have to defend themselves against his sons, even though he's had to defend himself against his sons.
Police after that moment.
No, what do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're gonna do is try to lie your way out of it. Now, I'm not saying he's a liar, but
you just called him a liar.
The truth and the facts, justice will prevail. Has nothing.
So, with that being said, right, with this being last year, this child's fate was already sealed because they were already working on how to coordinate making sure that he doesn't. So right after this, Karmelo's family started to give Sengo over the last 15, 16 months, 14, 15 months, they raised over $500,000 for his defense. It's about 600,000. They just shut down the Give Sengo today because the case is over, right? But all the time leading up to the case, to the trial, they have been trying to go after them people money and all the donations. 18,000 donations. They were trying to get rid of them. They were trying to take them and give them to this family who had 3 GoFundMes going at the same time. They had 3 GoFundMes going. And they were all, and none of them were the same, right? They raised a whole bunch of money. They did, because white folks, they don't, when it's white people, they don't, it's okay to take care of them no matter what they did. But if it's black folks, then you might have an issue. But hold on. I'm trying to find something real quick. Okay. So
I already got the money set aside for appeals bond. Why? All white jury, the judge and the DA are buddies, along with the dad, best friends. That's been our trump card. We've been holding, already knew that. God has spoken, and you cannot make me believe that as many gray hair white women on that jury that's dealing with white guilt about going to heaven is not gonna have no compassion about a kid that's been straight A from the time he's ever read a book in school, has no history of violence, has saved children's lives by risking his own life by jumping in to save somebody from drowning. This kid has no violence. Austin, on the other hand, is a violent brute with some sexual rape allegations hanging on his ass. That's why, man, they coerce them kids. But one thing about kids can't lie to professionals under pressure. When you was told, when you gave a statement in the beginning, you can't come back and amend it later and say, well, I meant. No, what you said that night is law. Back up right up. All them white people talking about what they gonna do, they ain't gonna do shit, nigga. They ain't gonna do shit. When Makai Johnson and Galvin Long killed them motherfucking white police officers, you white motherfuckers didn't do a goddamn thing. Not no guilty. If you think they're gonna find him guilty and they just put manslaughter on as a charge and it wasn't on there in the beginning, you don't know law, cracker. You like the dumb white boy that had to whip. He can't spell either, nigga. Yeah. We already got the money set aside for appeals bond. Why? All white jury, the judge and the DA are buddies, along with the dad, best friends. That's been our trump card. We've been holding, already knew that. But we wanted everything to play out how they had it. I can't wait till the family, we waiting on each other. Yeah. I've been riding with the family, nigga, since day one. I'm sorry, since day 5. White people mad because they poor. Nigga, I wouldn't give a damn about what happened. I got a show tomorrow. I'm getting rich out here off content creation. All you white people, you're still gonna be fucking poor, struggling with gas prices. Say big.
That had nothing to do with that. But it's listen, I can't make it up. It's not about race though.
Americans. Fight.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you've chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any.
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk. Of my son. Let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
In history, this is a shift where white people will no longer.
So, that was the Christian white nationalist, Jake Lang. Hold on. And Jake Lang was, is definitely, hold on. It's definitely a racist. Let's just start there. I'm looking for this interview. I think Jeffy went viral tonight. I think people were anxious to hear what he had to say. He's also got this racist hag, Sarah Field. She's a hardcore Republican, what I would call a Republican swallower. They are her and Jeff are one and the same. They're a kindred spirit. I'll just say that. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't he say it's not about race?
Why are you worried about
Since you're so rational and smart, if someone touches your arm, does that justify you stabbing them in the heart?
In a hostile situation where someone walks up to me,
answer the question, yes or no. Does it?
I'm answering your question. That's not the situation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You walked up the whole totality of the situation.
He touched him. Does that justify? Okay, man, I'm done. Fuck off. Next person.
Man, you fuck off. Yeah, you disrespect.
Dude, why don't you go to fucking just somewhere where you belong?
The Real, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch.
Now, it's not about race though. Yeah, it's not racist. It's not racist.
No, I mean, take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet.
You can't hear that.
I think Austin has been stabbed, and I said,
I know.
The police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney.
Okay. Well, Jeff, take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said,
I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way.
I don't like this interview. The sound sucks. He lied about that too. And like I said, I hate the fact that we'll never ever get to the bottom of this, but
it's a terrifying, gut-wrenching, incomprehensible scene in Frisco, Texas, just 20 miles north of where I sit here today. A high school track meet yesterday turned deadly. 17-year-old football star Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the heart and left to die in his twin brother's arms after a fight broke out yesterday. The suspect was allegedly told he was sitting in the wrong seat in the stands of the stadium before drawing a knife and attacking Austin. Police have yet to reveal what led up to that moment, but we do know the other student has been charged with murder. Joining me now is Austin's mother, Megan Metcalf, and his twin brother, Hunter. Megan, Hunter, thank you for being with me today. I can't imagine how difficult of a day, and I have to start with how sorry I am of what you're going through this morning, this afternoon. I think I'd like to just start. I'd love to just start with tell me about Hunter. If you could, Megan, tell me about your son.
I think I can speak for her for a little bit, so she just calms down just a little bit. But as me, I know I'm a little more, spontaneous. I like to do stuff all around and just get out of line sometimes. And, Austin's always was there to check on me, keep me straight, so I wouldn't be in trouble and do anything like that.
I was always spontaneous. I like to do things all around. Sometimes I get out of line, and Austin always checks me.
Hunter and Megan, whenever you feel ready, jump into the conversation. If you never feel ready, that's completely understandable to me and everybody else watching. Hunter, thanks so much for being able to do this today. Just a little more about your brother, Austin. From what I understand, I think he has it in his social media bio, 3.96 GPA student, certainly definitely into football. And it looked, when I was looking into him last night, he was very interested in being recruited to play football in college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so about that storyline, that was never proven. Most of the time, it was just a lie. It was just a lie.
He was very highly recruited, just like coming out of his junior year. He's had a really great year, and everyone on the team, coaches, everyone knew around the area just knew that he was about to do big things in football. But besides his GPA, man, that dude was extremely smart, always in the books. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing with football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Megan, we'll try this again, both of us, and we'll see how far we get. When I read your story last night, obviously this is not about me. I have a 17-year-old son. I live 20 miles south of you. My son's in Frisco every night playing soccer, and we have a lot of friends who knew Austin. So the circles got tight, and this hit really close to home. And I'm just so sorry for you. Can you explain us?
Do you really think that black kid had a chance at self-defense? With a network that wide, they got on Fox News the next morning. They
and
know
he didn't even ask about him. You can tell us something wrong with that boy. Now look at that boy. You can tell us something wrong with that boy.
Yeah.
Us at all today, how you feel. It's just got to be so, the word I keep coming back to, Megan, is incomprehensible. How could this happen at a track meet?
It is. She just took my son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed by mostly our family, but this whole community has really wrapped their arms around us. And if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight.
That was a line written down. Literally had nothing. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. She's not dropping. Let me tell you why she has her glasses on. She has her glasses on so that you won't see that she's not really crying.
She spends most of the interview with her eyes closed.
Yeah, she had her eyes closed. She's wearing glasses because you can hide tears. There's a way that you can wear glasses and hide tears. I wear glasses all my life. There's not a tear that dropped down under them glasses, the frame of those glasses. Not one tear. And we watched this more than once, so this is not my first time seeing this. And this is when we was picking it apart like we do on here. And the people that we were talking to in the panel, they were shocked that the way that me and Tavares was picking apart the what's the name? And Tavares had to keep telling me, y'all, we do this all the time. But they were like kind of fascinated by it. But this lady is not crying, y'all. Not one bit. She's not crying. She's even a bad fake crier. And it's not about telling somebody how they need to grieve. That's not the point. I wouldn't be doing no interview if my son was dead. There's no way you would get me on no news channel doing no interview. Period. No way, shape, form, or fashion. And if I had other kids that was there, my kids wouldn't be on TV talking about it. That's just me. But teach his own. Go ahead.
And you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
Hunter, I know you were there. Thank you, Megan. Take your time. Hunter, I know you were there when it happened. What can you tell us about what happened at that track?
Now, if you don't ever, and I'm not the hugest Charleston White fan, if you don't believe that we and people like us already figured that this was a foregone conclusion and this whole trial was performative, the simple fact that they did not call the most material witness, neither side called Hunter Metcalf to the stand. And this guy just told you.
When it happened, what can you tell us about what happened at that track meet? When it happened, I know you were there. Hunter, I know you were there when it happened.
Hunter, I know you were there when it happened. You called 35 other irrelevant ass students that were also memorial students. You called all those people. And you didn't call on this guy?
What can you tell us about what happened at that track meet? How could this thing that seems like is not on the menu of possibilities could happen? Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So it was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back.
You see that? You listen. I'll teach y'all a little bit about. Oh, wait. I don't have to teach y'all anything. Y'all watch this stuff with us. See the eye line? She's looking down. He's looking at the camera. He's looking at the camera.
Could happen. Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
You asked him, how did it happen? Notice everybody's eye line.
So there was a really bad storm in the morning.
Huh?
Stop it for a second. So she did this. She wiped her eye, right? But there's no tears coming out this lady's eyes, y'all. Because let me tell you something. If it was real tears coming out of her eyes, you know how a camera hits your face and show the wet.
You would have seen the glint.
You would have seen the wetness. There's no wetness on that lady's face. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You see how he as soon as he started telling the story, he started looking all over the place.
Morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them.
That was a lie. So,
check out, look at the mom. The mom is shaking her head as he's talking. And let me say this, the mom's hand is on him. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's definitely directing what's being said. This is the same thing the father was doing. All the below the camera level arm movement and directing and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of that going on here. Right? The lie that I wanted to talk about that he just told was that they were at the middle school.
Turn up. I'm sorry, baby. But Kim, you going in and out.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the
And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is when he's just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff, and also try to handle the problem. And
Austin was always one to step up. He always.
Where's the chairs at?
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. I'm sorry. Hold up. Give me a second. Go ahead. Let me.
Always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
A lot of stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us don't, other schools,
The fact that those coaches got up there and they said what they said, and not one of them said anything that applies to the UIL rules. UIL is the organization that runs the athletics for high schools in Texas. So they have their own handbook. I've downloaded all of it. So they have their own handbook that track and field coaches use. I also downloaded the Frisco ISD.
You're going in and out.
Mess with our stuff. To the area. We set that up for the girls' track every meet we had. So it's just he knew he wasn't supposed to be there, and it's just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up.
Somebody talking in the background.
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive. He grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest. He just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see him.
Stop.
Because he was messing up. He was messing up the story. He was telling too much.
Somebody else was in that room. Didn't you hear somebody?
Oh no, there's plenty of people in that room. You got the camera guy, you got the producer, you got the lawyer. He lawyered up. He lawyered up that.
Oh, that's right. It was a lawyer in that room.
They had a lawyer in the room, which is weird, right? There's plenty of accounts when you go and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that in between Alexandria's stories. What I'll do is I'll take you guys through the whole navigable path of what happened in this case and what we know, right? And I won't have a problem. I can pull up the arrest affidavit where, just a few hours before this, Hunter and Carmelo and Austin were in this situation. But the one thing that's missing from the arrest affidavit is this story from Hunter. Hunter's not even in the arrest affidavit. They did not interview him for the arrest affidavit. He does not appear in the arrest affidavit. And when he does appear, they say that he's too, quote unquote, distraught, to hysterical to say anything. But 10 to 15 hours, I think this was the same day. I don't know. But all these interviews within the first 24 hours.
Yeah, I understand. Best I can to understand.
Yeah, there was. You can see, you can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and
yeah.
So she spends the rest of the interview with her eyes closed. All that hopping up and down and hyperventilating and shit, it was performative.
I can visualize. I just I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, try to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
That was a written part. I watched his soul leave and my soul left too. That did not happen. Austin Metcalf died at the hospital. Matter of fact, the coaches and the paramedics stepped in before any of what he just
hear
said.
you. We can't hear
Hey,
you.
listen. If you can, it's.
You know what? You need to take your allowance and buy some stuff and stop going to the Goodwill.
I think you should probably stop buying your supplies, like your headphones. You should stop getting those from Temu.
You should get a better microphone. How about
I have
that?
a really good microphone. You should too, because I can barely hear you as well.
Whatever.
Maybe I know what I'll do for you. I'll go on Amazon and I'll get you a really good mic, and that way we don't have to talk to you through a webcam.
So what are you doing?
I'm on a microphone.
What are you talking out of?
I'm on a microphone and I'm listening to you through speakers.
Well, it sounds terrible.
Oh, it would sound terrible if you don't have the right speakers or the right headphones. It would sound horrible on the wrong headphones. Do I sound horrible to you?
How do you know my headphones are not on? You can't see me.
You're not wearing headphones. I know you're not wearing headphones.
Okay. You sound terrible and you need to talk up so everybody can hear you.
Again, I know you're not wearing headphones. So it's your audio interface, your device that you're listening to us on. Because it's funny, you can hear everything else, but you can't hear me. That's weird. Right? But if the people can't hear me, I wouldn't be in all green. Right? I'm not going to yell and stopping every 3 or 4 minutes because you don't have the proper equipment. You have headphones. You should use them. You got headphones. Put them on.
Nah. You got Goodwill stuff. Go ahead.
Put your headphones on. Put the good ones on, not the Temu ones you got. That way you can hear everything.
I don't shop at Temu.
We don't know that.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to ask you one last question. I've seen interviews with your husband, who I can hear in the side, by the way. I think he's there in the room with you. I saw an interview last.
Yeah, she corrected that shit real quick.
Okay.
And she's talking with her eyes closed, and he just shushed her.
Did you hear him tell her?
Someone else.
Yeah, he told her to shut up.
Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
But I have seen interviews with your husband in the last 24 hours, and it was remarkable.
He keeps calling her a husband. They've been divorced since the kids were 7. That's burning her up. She literally can't stand. You think we don't like Jeff Metcalf? She hates him. She hates him.
To me, that I heard your husband say within hours of this, that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And
Wait a minute. What did he just mouth? He just said something.
That he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could.
I never noticed that, and I'm telling you, I've watched all this 1,000 times. When he was talking to her, Hunter whispered something to her. I don't know what it was, though.
And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong.
She's not crying anymore either, by the way.
What place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
I am not like their dad. I am so angry.
She said, I ain't nothing like their dad. Yeah, she wants as much separate. Whatever he did during their marriage, she absolutely hates that guy.
Have that boy been...
And she went from straight face to whatever that is.
It's just not fair. That's all I have.
I understand.
I'd like to say
not fair.
I'd like to say,
you know, never mind.
It's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody.
I totally understand where both of you sit today on that front. I don't know that I could either. That's why I found it remarkable when I heard that from your husband. But
he keeps on calling the man her husband.
Everyone has to go through this their own way. I just pray that God goes through this with you both and your husband and the rest of your family. And I really appreciate you sharing this story with me and the rest.
What?
I'm sorry. The reason why they're doing that is because they don't want it to look like he comes from a broken home, which he does. Because
Absolutely.
Karmelo comes from a mother and father. Huh?
Yeah, they absolutely came from a broken home. They came from, they
from
both came from single parent homes.
Yeah, but he kept saying that because they want people to get the impression that there's a husband and a wife and a father and a mother in the house, when we already know that was already said. He's been divorced from her for years. But Karmelo has a mother and father. You got to know the play on words, and then you got to think about Fox. It's a play on words. He comes from a single parent home. That lady was scared of him. That lady was scared of that man.
And the big one here is proportionality.
A Texas jury found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in April of 2025 during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. He was just sentenced to 35 years in prison. And to lay this all out for you, due to the rain, there was bad weather. The track events were delayed that day, and Anthony, a Centennial High School student, sought shelter under a Memorial High School tent. Moments later, an argument broke out, and Anthony was asked repeatedly to leave that tent. One witness claimed Anthony responded by calling the group a name before he reached into his backpack saying, quote, "Touch me and see what happens," end quote. After some shoving, Anthony pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest, piercing his heart. Prosecutors argued that the killing was a provoked and unjustified murder. They called 21 witnesses. The defense argued it was self-defense. Karmelo Anthony did not testify in his own defense. Immediately after the jury's decision, protesters gathered outside claiming this was the latest example of Black lives not mattering.
Well, what this process did is shown that Black lives do not matter in Collin County. This trial showed that it put emotions over the law. After Trayvon Martin and so many countless names, it has shown us that Black life is not safe in Collin County.
Minister Dominique Alexander is the man that you just heard from in that video. He is a spokesman for the Anthony family. Minister, it's nice to have you on. You keep saying that Black lives don't matter, but no Black lives were lost here. A 17-year-old white person was killed. So what are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is 35 years. Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. Yet at the end of the day, Black America repeatedly is told that self-defense is a part of the law. That a knife under 5 inches is legal in the state of Texas. That stand your ground is legal here in the state of Texas. But when a Black person try to use those same basic rights and laws, then we're not afforded those things. We're doing those things unjustifiably.
Well, that's not what a jury found today. Can you tell me, I know you know Karmelo Anthony well, why did he bring a knife to a track meet?
I can't comment on that. What I can do, I can't speak for Karmelo Anthony, but I can tell you that the state of Texas made it legal. So at the end of the day, if a person got a problem with it, they might need to call Governor Greg Abbott and tell him, why does this state have open carry laws? Why does it have brass knuckles and etc. Right?
Stabbing somebody in the heart, though, sir, is definitely not legal. He could have just turned around and walked out of that tent at any moment.
Do you see? Do you see? Do you not understand? Like,
yeah, exactly.
And based on what you have been told about the situation, I can see how you can take that fact. But the levels of injustice that was done in this trial is not how I was told, right? But at the end of the day, that's the reason why we're going to go through a full appeals process to ensure that the facts are being told correctly. But me and you are going to go back and forth.
No, that's fine. Tell me. I'm curious. Tell me.
You see how you keep cutting them off? I also want you to pay attention to the runtime, right? So Dominique Alexander on this channel, on Newsmax, gets a 9-minute interview, right? Everything that we've covered about this that's on TV is getting 15, 20, 28, 30, 45 whole panels, you know? And like I said, there's going to be a rise behind this. There is going to be a rise of the new coon. And I don't know how I feel about it yet. This new coon is imbued with the powers of it's like they've been empowered by the oppressor themselves. I don't even know how to explain it, because all coons are empowered by the oppressor. If you're empowered by the oppressor, you're a coon. Yeah, that's where we'll leave it at.
Well,
tell me what you think happened.
What I think is the situation is that someone asked Karmelo Anthony to come over there. He knew an individual, but that's not being told, right? It's like, a kid just randomly went under a tent, right? And he just sitting there. No one knows who he is. That's not the case, right? We know that Karmelo Anthony knew an individual. He knew a coach. He spoke about it. We also know that Frisco ISD should have counseled that. This wasn't just raining. We were under a tornado watch that day, right? And this should have been something that was actually...
Wait, you're telling me that because...
You see how it's just disrespect.
Somebody invited him to that tent, and there might have been a tornado warning, which happened all the time in Texas, that he was warranted in stabbing a 17-year-old kid in the chest, in the heart, and killing him?
That's not the case. But what you cannot do is put your hands on someone.
Well, you just told me that was the case.
No.
Is that the case? Because I want to know what the case is. I seriously do.
You asked me the first time, why was he under the tent or closer?
I wouldn't even talk to this man.
I would have spit on their cameras and walked out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had. I'm not going to do that.
I would have spit on their cameras and walked out.
Been totally limited. I wouldn't have had nothing to say to that man, because he thinks he's slick the way he's talking. Okay, and
They're all talking. Let me tell you something about these crackers. They're all doing this right now. They're all doing this right now. So when y'all hear about some cases, and you know what? I'll go on a side mission real quick.
What? What'd you say? What did you say?
Turn your headphones up. Turn your headphones up. Turn the Bluetooth speaker on, but turn it on loud enough so we can't hear the echo in the back. Oh, they took it down. Oh, they took it down. That's crazy. It was a black guy that was on a bike like Debo, and he was you could hear the tire wheel squeaking, and he walks up to this random white guy, and the caption says, I'm down 4 white people, or I'm down 4 crackers, justice for Karmelo. So what he was doing was he was going around and slapping he's slapping the shit out of random white people. Because they, I guess, did jury dirty, but
Are you talking?
Whatever it may be, right? The reality is that the state of Texas says that I don't have to, when I'm assaulted, I don't have to return the same level of
Can you hear me talking? Can you hear me?
yeah, I can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah. Are you able to hear us?
this state have open carry laws, why
Sure,
does have
but
brass knuckles and etc. Right?
stabbing somebody in the heart, though, sir, is definitely not legal. He could have just turned around and walked out of that tent at any moment.
And based on what you have been told about the situation, I can see how you can take that fact. But the levels of injustice that was done in this trial is not how I was told, right? But at the end of the day, that's the reason why we're going to go through a full appeals process to ensure that the facts are being told correctly. But me and you are going to go back and forth.
No,
on
that's
this
fine.
interview.
Tell me. I'm curious. Tell me
Tell
me what you think happened.
What I think is the situation is that someone asked Karmelo Anthony to come over there. He knew an individual, but that That's not being told, right? It's like, oh, a kid just randomly went under a tent, right? And he just sitting there. No one knows who he is. That's not the case, right? We know that Karmelo Anthony knew an individual. He knew a coach. He spoke about it. We also know that Frisco ISD should have counseled that. This wasn't just raining. We were under a tornado watch that day, right? And this should have been something that was actually...
Wait, you're telling me that because somebody invited him to that tent and there might have been a tornado warning, which happened all the time in Texas, that he was warranted in stabbing a 17-year-old kid in the chest, in the heart, and killing him?
That's not the case. But what you cannot do is put your hands on someone.
Well, you just told me that was the case.
No.
Is that the case? Because I want to know what the case is. I seriously do.
You asked me the first time, why was he under the tent or close or whatever it may be, right? The reality is that the state of Texas says that I don't have to, when I'm assaulted, I don't have to return the same level of force, correct? Isn't that the law?
Yeah, he was asked to leave that tent multiple times, and the prosecution called 21 witnesses. Hold on. The prosecution called 21 witnesses, and they all corroborated that. They all said that he was asked to leave the tent. There was
Stop it for a minute. Stop it for a minute. Okay. So my thing is, they didn't have the authority to tell him to leave that tent. So I wouldn't have left.
They all told very different stories.
They all told different stories. Every one of them told a different story. So it doesn't matter what they told him. They weren't adults. They were kids. So he didn't have to see that mentality. And then what's crazy is a lot of the kids that talked for the prosecution, a lot of them were black kids. And I worked, and matter of fact, I worked at Memorial and I worked at the other school. I had an opportunity to work at both those high schools. But like I said, that's now, that was back then. Now, when I heard the name of the high school, I worked at both those high schools in Frisco. But this, I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy, he's not answering like I would answer. I'll just say that much. He's not answering like I would answer. Because I wouldn't have mentioned anything about the weather. I would say straight up, you should have kept his hands to himself, point blank. That's what I would have said. He should have kept his hands to himself. He had no right to put his hands on him. The judicial system, the state law is stand your ground. It was not used in this case. It was not used in this case, and that's how I would shut him up. Point blank.
No, sir.
He was asked to leave the tent, so he could have left that tent at any time. He chose not to. That's why he's going to jail for 35 years.
All 21 of them did not have the same story. They did not have the same story. And that's why so many people outside of that courtroom is outraged right now. If you look at anything about this case, all 21 of them did not have the same story.
Tell me about the defense witness, because the defense did not call Karmelo Anthony. If Karmelo Anthony truly thought he was innocent, he's 19 years old. He's not a kid. He's 19 years old. Why didn't he take the stand in his own defense? And why did the defense's only witness change their story on the...
Oh no, their children are still kids. When you're
children are still kids, but a black child, at 12, they're grown.
Over 16, 17,
they're little men. They're men.
They're men. That's how they always frame it.
The witness stand.
Karmelo Anthony testifying in his own trial is his own right? And that's a decision that Karmelo Anthony and his parents has to make, right? And that was a decision that was made through the legal process, right? And through this process, of course, there's going to have to be some major reviews, right? But as far as changing the witness changing what he changing his testimony, I'm trying to figure out how someone going to say he changed his testimony. Were you privy to his testimony prior to?
Well, he changed his testimony. He was during cross-examination. He said that there was not an altercation under the tent, and he didn't witness an altercation. So I don't think that was something the defense was planning on, and clearly it didn't play well for this 12-person jury. Let me just ask you: can a black person ever just be convicted of killing a white person in this country without it becoming like a major race issue? Like some of the comments that you made outside the courthouse today, I don't know why you do that. You stir things up, you make it about race, and that could lead to rioting and protests and looting tonight. The bottom line is more people could get hurt. More people could get hurt.
I'm glad that you will say that, why do we have to bring race in the situation? The reality is that if you know about this,
I didn't say we. I said you. Why do you? Why do you, Dominic? Not the black race.
No. Let me make this very clear. As the president of the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas, what I witnessed on April 3rd was white people going on posts and social media calling Karmelo Anthony a thug, not a 4.0 GPA, not a person that
he's a convicted murderer tonight, so he's a thug.
Let me finish.
He's a thug. He's not a hero.
When you
he's not a hero.
Say a black man is bringing race, his race shouldn't have never been a factor. He shouldn't have never. Jake Lane. I don't see you calling out Jake Lane that said Karmelo Anthony should sit there and be hung from a tree and shot outside the Collin County Jail. I never brought race into this situation. We had to.
I didn't bring race into the situation either. You brought race into this when you made those comments that we played at the beginning of the segment, making this about race.
We have to make sure that due process is done. All we want is our rights and be afforded the same basic rights that everyone is afforded, sir. And I'm sorry if I gotta talk about my race to make sure that I can have the same afforded right that a white
Dominic, he had a fair trial, and you're certainly open.
He had a fair trial. You see that?
Yeah, he got 30. That Negro got 30. He got 35 years. That Negro got 35 years.
Yeah, he had a fair trial. Ain't no need.
Yeah, ain't no need of all-white jury. He had a fair trial. An all-white jury. He had a fair trial. Yeah, it always happens like that whenever you have an all-white jury, that black people get fair trials.
Fair. It's always going to be fair, but these are the same people that were freaking out when OJ got acquitted.
Yeah, exactly. This guy, I'm sorry, but this guy, and I know y'all heard me off mute. I didn't mean to be off mute when you heard me. This guy right here, he don't have the what's the name? I understand he's the president and all that, but he's too soft for me. For a black man, he's too soft. I'm sorry. That's just me.
That's just you.
Yeah.
Certainly, you can appeal.
Now, you do realize that, you could say the same thing about Martin Luther King too, right?
Nope, Martin Luther King. I wouldn't say the same about Martin Luther King because Martin Luther King, he didn't talk loud, but his words were powerful. This guy is too soft, point blank.
All right.
Feel that, but the last time I checked, it's not legal for white people to stab black people in the state of Texas either.
Hey,
Dominic Alexander, appreciate you being here. We got to leave it there.
And that's the reason why, because you can't. The thing is, if you're coming to be civil, you know what I'm saying, that's one thing. Everybody's not going to escalate it and turn this into a way bigger, because if he escalates it and he cuts up on TV, this is no longer about Karmelo. It's not
about him cursing.
It's now about Dominic Alexander going off on the Newsmax dude, and that's what's going to dominate the headlines. It's not going to be about Karmelo no more. When you
make any excuse for that soft black man all you want. You can make all the excuses for that soft black man all you want. I don't care.
When you center yourself, you're self-centered. All right. But when you keep the goal in mind is to get out Karmelo's story, then you won't be self-centered.
But he didn't.
It won't be about
he didn't. That's the whole thing was that guy talked right over him. He didn't get nothing out. He didn't get nothing out.
Well, like I said, well, you know what? You got UCN. You could bring Dominic over to UCN and you could give him the platform instead of criticizing people.
I sure could, and he would talk.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and reach out to him? I'll get you his information, and we'll see if he can come over here, and we can interview Mr. Alexander. And that way, he can have the whole platform. He won't have to compete with nobody, and won't be any reason for him to do anything extra. He can just do his interview. Mind you, this is Newsmax, one of the most racist news outlets, period. The fact that he even went on there is that's I wouldn't have did that, but you know, you getting out the story.
But he didn't. That's the point.
Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, guys, it's gonna be slow rolling. There's so much and this whole process, this appeals process is gonna take a minute. So I don't mind kind of walking you guys back through it and talking about some of the things that have happened and going through some of the interviews with you guys. I don't want to make this all about Karmelo because we still got a lot of Alexander business to handle. But yeah, I don't know. Stop siding with white folks. Stop repeating what they say. Because the white folks don't give a damn about black folks in general, and they love it when other black folks don't give a damn about other black folks. So, you know, there's certain black folks that white folks love, and they can't figure out why other black folks don't love the black folks that love white folks. But you know, it's what's best for business. And yeah, so stop repeating after these white folks. Somebody's gonna call you out on it eventually. But yeah, Newsmax is probably one of the most racist outlets, period. It's trash media. And I don't even question what he said. I question the decision to go over there. Because these crackers, they absolutely do not care.
You might have seen that Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. I want to get your reaction to the trial and the verdict.
My heart breaks for so many reasons. And so I was just speaking to a student that is shadowing me who wants to be a public defender. And so it takes me back to what actually made me decide to get into this legislative work in the first place, because I know that our systems are broken. And what we saw with that verdict is the evidence of a broken system. Now, listen, from everything that I understand, which I wasn't at the trial because obviously I got a day job, but it's my understanding that Karmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing, I don't know what this tool was that they talk about, knife, or some refer to it as a tool. He ended up hitting Austin one time, and it was about where he hit him. One time, 2 inches. This wasn't someone who said, hey, let me stab you 5, 6, 7 times. And so when you're looking at the punishment range, there's a reason in Texas that it goes from 5 to 99 or life, because you are looking at how intentional, like how bad was this? 35 years for a kid who had decided to go under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining, and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he didn't know who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of people don't know what it is to live as a Black person in this country, but just like you can give the benefit of the doubt to so many police officers when they go out and they shoot some Black unarmed person, even though they are trained, the fact that there was little to no mercy seen or humanity seen when this Black boy said that I was scared, or the fact that honestly anybody else who did something with such a small object, all I know is that it wasn't considered unlawful carrying of a weapon because the blade was not long enough, that they wouldn't even say, well, maybe this was more so something that looked like manslaughter.
Well, some people might say, why are you even bringing a knife like that to a track meet?
Yeah, people may say that, but walk a day in my shoes and then respond. Because we as Black folks say, why is it that people need long armed guns when we are going out and having a First Amendment protest? But people say that's their right. They are allowed to do that. And again, it wasn't against the law for him to have it. It may have been prohibited by school rules, which he wasn't at his school at the time, but it definitely was not against the law.
So you think race played a role in the verdict?
Oh my God. I know Collin County. So absolutely. Collin County is right north of Dallas County. And I can tell you that I have had cases that I felt like played out differently because of the counties that they were in. And unfortunately, that was not the county for a Black boy.
So if this were a white boy in his exact same position, you don't think he'd get a 35-year sentence?
I would guarantee you it wouldn't have happened. I don't even know if he would have been convicted, because if a white boy would have said that they were afraid of a Black boy, something tells me that that jury that didn't have any Black people on it, they would have believed him in his fear.
Why do you feel that people feel so strongly about this trial, about this verdict on both sides?
I think because of the current climate in our country regarding race relations, that many people try to skip over of the situation. We try to downplay it. We try to say, let's pipe this down, when you can't pipe it down when you have one side that is literally only attacking us for the color of our skin. We ask the question, what does the color of his skin have to do with it? Why do he got to be called a monkey? Why do he got to be called a thug? Why do he got to be all those names? What we found out was Karmelo Anthony was a 4.0 GPA student, has 62 pending scholarships to college, a very promising future, right? But the reality, when this situation first happened, if you would have took what was going off the vibration of the internet, you would have thought that Karmelo Anthony was a true thug.
What was your feeling about the fact that and it was not an all-white jury, there were Hispanic and Asian jurors as well.
It was an all-white jury.
But the fact that there were no Black jurors, what was your feeling that day, as I'm sure you were watching this case from the start?
I joined the community outraged by the situation, because at the end of the day, the reasons that the prosecution used in order to strike those 3 African-American women from the jury who was qualified and on the basis of education. And even the judge didn't even really give a lot of thought into it before he denied the defense objection to it, right?
You said something during the trial, or actually before the trial started, that you wanted people to join you in the fight against white supremacy. Where does white supremacy come into this?
Well, I think that there was multiple situations that happened that day that weren't introduced to the actual court. But at the end of the day, I think it was a huge problem from the beginning of this case, even when we go through the bond hearing and several different things, right? All of the threats that even went from the first judge that was on this case because of a bond hearing is literally getting death threats right now. This is a Republican judge, still to this day, because she's a Black woman and she lowered Karmelo's bond, not inconsistent with both them Amber Geiger's bond, or Roy Oliver, or Aaron Dean that killed the Tatiana Jefferson. She's still getting threats to this day, right?
Your feeling is that just because of where you are in Texas, that there were people who were going after even the judge because she's Black, and therefore that is a sign of what you heard Jasmine Crockett saying, that she feels that a Black defendant can't get a fair trial in that part of Texas?
Craig, you got to remember, when the Oath Keeper was arrested in January 6th, he was arrested in Collin County, Texas, right? That has been a hotbed for white supremacy. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you this, there were people who traveled across this country to descend on Collin County. The last time I checked, Jake Lane does not stay in Collin County. The reality is that Texas has some of the strongest stand your ground laws. It allows permitless carry, open carry, brass knuckles, knife under 5 inches. But whenever a Black man try to use those same basic rights, he's told again and again that those are not for you.
I know you have committed funds to the defense to file an appeal here.
Yes, I have.
Do you have any news on, have you spoken to the attorneys who are going to be seeking that appeal?
the family has to go through that process. The Next Generation Action Network supports the family through that process. And of course, they have to select an attorney and be able to notify us that they have selected an attorney. This is their decision. And then we'll go from there. And we ask that the community continue to support this family, continue to support our organization as we continue to push for the full acquittal and full overturn of this conviction.
He sounded much better. I'll give him credit for this one. This was much better.
Yeah, I think people overvalue credit from others.
What?
Sometimes.
What?
The people overvalue.
And right now
I can't
want to give you an update on a story that,
you know, when people say I give them credit, people say I give them credit.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't care about that, mama.
I do. I give him credit. He did a much better interview because he act like he's scared of that white boy. I'm just saying.
So what? So again, it all depends on who's interviewing you.
You supposed to be scary?
You have an appealing process, and I get it because you ain't never been in that situation. But when you are advocating for somebody and there's an appeal, everything you say is important. I ain't saying go on there and be complacent and get bullied around.
No, but exactly. But that's exactly what he did. That is exactly what that man did. That man handed him.
You don't have anything
his butt.
That's why you again. You can't say
he did a much better job with
everything
TMZ.
is being scrutinized.
Bye,
everything
sir.
is being scrutinized.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Go ahead. Continue doing what you're doing.
Well, on that note, folks, yeah. So the one thing I can't advocate for is everybody we got a part to play in this. Everybody got their role to play. Some people are just spectators. They are.
Yeah, and some people are scary.
And some people are just spectators. Some people are just
let's go ahead and finish. Go ahead and talk about the news. Come on. It's not. Come on. Go ahead, because it ain't that serious. It really isn't.
No, I got a problem when I'm gonna have an issue with that. And it has nothing to do
You'll
with
be all right. You know what? You'll live to see another day, sir.
But again, some people are spectators. Some people watch from the outside.
And some people are scary.
And some people are so scary that they just watch from the outside.
Some people so scary they can't speak up to a white man talking crazy to them.
And some people realize that you on that white man platform.
Still, you're supposed to be scary?
No, that means that they can cut you off and you won't get anything accomplished.
And then I'd walk out like the president did.
That wasn't even a white network. What are you even talking about?
I'd still walk out like Trump did.
Jesus. I can't with you guys. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. We got more tomorrow or Thursday or Friday.
No, play this part. Go ahead and play this part.
I'm not doing anything else. Besides the fact that you complaining every 5 seconds about not being able to hear, only to realize that it was your fault. Yeah, there's just a lot of information out there. I don't want to overload because I know it's easy to do.
So you're going to punish the people who are watching because you have a beef with me?
Nobody's being punished, and nobody has a beef with anybody. I'm just saying there's a lot of information, and I'm just trying to open up the door so people, if they want to do more research, they can. People inbox me all the time on stuff that I did not see. So I don't have a problem with that. If they want to let me know that, hey, look, I found this. You were talking about this the other night. Yeah. And there's a lot of information that I have. There's a lot more information that I'm getting. So I definitely know how this could be definitely a rabbit hole situation where we will spend 4 or 5 hours reviewing videos, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to do that. I know how to pace myself through this case because it can't be like that. But
good night, everybody. Good night, Miss Mims. Thank you, Miss Bell. Thank you, Miss Dixon. Thank you, Miss Colson. Thank you, Mr. Gregory Scott. Hey, Mr. Gregory Scott. I need you to send me your menu. Thank you, Miss Thompson. Let's see here. That's it. We got a low crowd tonight. Okay. All right, you guys have a great night. I'm out.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll get back to it. You guys inbox me if you want to know more information. I got contact info, et cetera, et cetera. If you guys got any ideas or any of the things that you discovered, like I said, that we haven't discovered yet or I haven't discovered yet on this case, please do not hesitate to inbox me. I may turn this into a Tuesday and Thursday thing apart from this, because it has to have its own space, because we do have a lot of important things that we do need to talk about, Alexandra, but this is just as important. So yeah, we'll spin the block. We'll be right back. Catch us Thursday. Yeah, catch us Thursday. All right. Good night, folks.